Your brain doesn't fucking work, you idiot. You honestly idiot. I don't know what's wrong with you. I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
Alright, hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. On August 25th, 2018, Deji and Jake Paul fought each other in a white-collar boxing match. This was the debut in boxing for both of them. While it looked like Deji was winning the first few rounds, he had no endurance and Jake Paul made a comeback, with Deji's team throwing in the towel in the 5th round. 6 years later, on November 15th, 2024, Jake Paul fought a 58-year-old Mike Tyson on Netflix. This was his 13th fight and 12th win in boxing. This also happened to be the largest viewing number of any boxing event in history, being streamed in 60 million households. A week and a half later, on November 28th, Deji had his 7th boxing match against Dawood Savage, who was 0-4 prior to this fight. This fight happened as the co-main event to a Nissan Gibb versus Slim Albahar. You see what I'm getting at here? How did this happen? The reason being is what I call the Deji cycle. Being a younger brother on YouTube to a more successful older brother means that you're usually in their shadow. In fact, you become their shadow. You follow exactly what they're doing in their career and you have no say in the matter whatsoever. If the older brother decides to go into acting, the younger brother does the same. If the older brother wants to do music, the younger brother does the same. If the older brother has a clothing line, the younger brother has the same. If the older brother decides he wants to be a boxer all of a sudden, the younger brother does the same. We've seen this on display with multiple people, like Mr. Beast's brother, who does the exact same thing as Mr. Beast, on a budget. We've seen this with the Paul brothers. Jake has even said that the only reason he decided to box was because Logan lost. And the only reason he decided to box in the first place at all was because Logan decided to fight KSI.
Why would I box you? It doesn't show who's a better fighter. It's an MMA match or it's nothing.
I want my brother, Jake Paul, to fight KSI's little brother, Deji? I think that would be great. Welcome to the first day of boxing training.
However, Deji unfortunately got the worst of the little brother effect because his older brother is one of the biggest personalities, if not the biggest personality to come out of the UK in the last 20 years. This led to Deji's career mirroring his brother's before it was even ready to. Deji is a great YouTuber on his own, and I truly believe that he would have stuck to doing YouTube videos in his parents' house for the rest of his life if it were not for KSI going through his transforming era in 2017. This era was basically KSI ditching the gaming content, dissing the Sidemen, and flying out to LA to live in the Clout House. So Deji was basically like, well shit, and started doing music as well, even though he really wasn't that good. Even if it was at Deji's expense, this era birthed some internet classics.
Yeah, he ran, hiding like he's Anne. You know that girl Stella? I went into Stella.
England is my city. Big up Nick Crompton. Jake Paul's my dad.
This era eventually led into boxing, but here's the thing. While Deji could pay for good production and good music videos and not need to put any hard work in at all, boxing is a different animal. You need to be able to work hard. Deji wasn't even ready to stop gaming up to that point. Now he was being thrown in the ring due to everyone expecting to follow in his brother's footsteps. In his own defense, it was unfair to expect him to become a boxer and stop gaming and YouTube altogether. It's a big commitment, but then it begs the question, why accept the fight in the first place? Deji was living in the Sidemen house and then got kicked out because he didn't want to eat the food that the cook was giving them or train properly. He switched trainers and he lost to Jake Paul in the 5th round. The Jake fight was Deji beating himself. Because he refused to do any cardio, he gassed and gave Jake the opportunity to win. But everyone commended him for it. The Paul brothers were athletes first. Deji and KSI were not, especially Deji. But the fact that Deji didn't train and almost beat Jake gave everyone hope that he would learn from this issue and dedicate himself to the sport. Deji himself admitted to his wrongdoings and promised to take boxing more seriously.
It's just fatigue. My cardio was terrible. I'm gonna admit that now. My cardio is absolute dog shit. I am a fighter. And I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna be fighting next year. I don't know who my opponent will be. Whoever it is, I'm gonna them up.
As the YouTube boxing community grew, everyone was excited to see Deji return. Numerous YouTube boxers like Anisan Gibb, Austin McBroom, Slim Albahur, Alex Wasabi, and FouseyTube were all calling him out. Even Jake Paul entertained a rematch.
That anyone can get the smoke. I got a list of people to fight. Joe Weller, I want to face Deji again. I think that Deji is faster, a better athlete, and a better boxer than Gibb.
But in hindsight, this boosted his ego and made him far more confident than he should have. He was fat in his parents' house, glowing about being the best YouTube boxer. What Jake Paul had done in boxing up to that point gave Deji even more confidence and made people believe in his skill. Because if Jake was doing this to people who were pro athletes and Deji almost beat Jake, then Deji must be the best, right? When it was announced that he would return on Austin McBroom's undercard to fight a TikToker, Vinny Hacker, everyone was excited. People thought that Deji was going to KO Vinny, just like Jake KO'd Nate. Everyone had hope until the weigh-in. But Deji can still beat this dude, right?
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
This fight was the most shocking and sad fight I probably ever watched to this day. We saw Deji get beaten by a then 18-year-old TikToker badly. And what was his excuse?
My stamina failed me again. My stamina failed me. And yes, I know that.
I cannot wrap my head around how Deji and his team didn't train cardio as the main thing after the Jake fight. But after this fight, Deji took a break, and the hope and hype was returned. Deji's grinding. He's a boxer now. He's taking this seriously. He's gonna win his next fight. Then he announced he was fighting Alex Wasabi. And it did look like he was training. It looked like he came for blood. He's the main event now, and he was in the best shape of his life. KSI was back on good terms with him, and he was training with him. He was confident. We were all confident. Showstar, the self-proclaimed home influencer boxing bullshit, was banking on Deji being their pay-per-view star, as he had been more active and had a bigger name than even his brother in the boxing world at that point. He had to just win this fight. That's it. And this was Alex's first fight. Deji was 3 fights in. This should be pretty easy. But then the fight happened.
Boom, 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 boom.
We need to see some attacking.
Bam, bop,
Throw, motherfucker. Throw upon.
pow.
Alex Wasabi!
I remember straight up falling to my knees in disbelief, disappointment, and frustration when Alex was announced the winner. The world had lost hope. It seemed like he was a little better, but he just didn't throw punches. Why didn't he throw punches in a boxing match? Well, because he didn't want to gas out. Now, my thing was, you shouldn't even be scared of gassing out if your cardio was on point. But for the third time in the row, Deji's cardio was the main reason he lost the fight one way or another. Deji's name was still relevant in the space, but for all the wrong reasons. He was the punching bag of YouTube.
Yo, I'm taking L's, always taking L's.
Spend 5 racks on the tag, spend 15 on McDonald's.
Keep in mind, this was a guy who didn't even want to box but felt like he had to. Not only because of his brother KSI, but because Jake Paul had achieved so much success up to that point, despite him starting in the same place that Deji did. Deji released a video where he claimed he only had his current coach Daly for 6 weeks and that he had gotten COVID. He claimed not to make excuses for himself, but continued to make excuses for himself. He even gloated how Alex Wasabi didn't hit him even though he lost, and didn't even hit Alex at all.
I'm not making any excuses for myself. I got COVID. It really does suck that midway through my camp that I had to switch to a better coach. I only got to experience Daly for 6 weeks. Yes, I'm gonna carry on boxing. I'm not gonna quit. Well played, Alex. Hit me like 8 times though.
After this, Deji completely left YouTube to focus on boxing. He moved house so he can get closer to the gym. His friend Shane was hired to be a chef. He also brought on Leon Wills as an S&C coach. Leon had been the S&C for KSI for his first 3 fights and was still training Anisan Gibb. But when Deji announced he was fighting Fousey, it got people worried. First of all, Deji had claimed Fousey was an easy fight. Imagine he gets beat by him. And second, Fousey had lost previously in an arguably more embarrassing fashion than how Deji had lost his last 3 fights. Fousey had also moved house to start focusing on boxing and was training in one of the best professional boxing gyms in the US. He looked fight ready. He was in phenomenal shape. People had said Deji should have been main event, as people wanted to see him box, whether it was to see him lose or win. During the whole build-up, no one could tell if Deji was ready. He didn't say much, and Fousey seemed to be more confident than ever. Deji also seemed to come in less fit than before, but when the fight happened, all doubts left the window. While Fousey had his moments, the fight was pretty much one-sided, with Deji giving his best performance ever. I remember my friend and I going insane when Deji won, and everyone else around the world and in that arena did as well, even his former opponents. This was definitely one of the best moments in YouTube boxing ever. Seeing as his last fights were either amateur or exhibition, this made Deji officially a 1-0 pro boxer. With this win, he had surpassed his brother who had fought embarrassing fights that night. Gib and Logan Paul to become the second biggest influencer boxer. This caught the attention of Global Titans Fight Series, who signed Deji to a multi-fight deal, with his first fight being against the GOAT Floyd Money Mayweather at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. Deji was the first high-tier influencer boxer to fight outside of the US or UK. This wasn't an influencer card either. The undercards were filled with professional boxers, and this wasn't like when Logan Paul fought Floyd, where the height and weight difference made the fight annoying to watch. Deji and Floyd were around the same height and weight. We all thought Deji was probably training for the fight of his life. He was gonna go all the 8 rounds. Of course, I mean, he has to. The event itself had several celebrities attend, like Will Smith, Andrew Tate, Tyron Woodley, and Deji's former foe, Jake Paul, just to name a few. It had the atmosphere of a Paul Brother event, with KSI taking backseat for the first time in Deji's life. And then the fight happened.
Boom, bang, bang, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, bang. You got it. Boom, boom, bang, boom, bang, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang. He's giving the people a show.
Doing a big dancing.
He's dancing on them, and folks, you didn't see this in the first couple. Boom, bang, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang.
And Deji got stopped in the 5th. Now, I understand that this is Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest, if not the greatest boxer of all time. But Deji didn't even try out of fear Floyd was going to hurt him. Deji could have gone 8 rounds and given his whole effort, and he would have been more respected in the boxing world than he is now. It became more disappointing when we found out that Deji had not taken this fight camp seriously, which is crazy considering he was fighting one of the best boxers of all time.
During the training camp, he wasn't taking it serious. He was slacking. I was getting onto him. I told him about himself countless times. Proper shouting at him.
I told him a few times in the build-up.
However, Deji did become one of, if not the only person to ever bruise Floyd Mayweather, so he still garnered some respect. Professional boxers were not giving Deji his flowers, and Deji was talking like he was going to continue boxing and that he was going to level up his opponents. He had finally learned to train properly. Deji wasn't going to stop anytime soon. He said he was going to fight 4 times in 2023, and we were all excited to see what he was going to do next. He then took 3 months off of training or going to the gym at all, and Global Titans fizzled out due to inactivity. But Deji was still relevant in the boxing world. He made appearances and was invited to several boxing events, including Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, where he and Jake talked about how far they've come. And Deji did also give advice to Jake Paul after he lost, seeing as Deji had lost 3 times. He then announced he was fighting Swarms. Alright, cool. We all thought Deji was just doing some warm-up fights to pad his record. He won against Swarms pretty dominantly and claimed in his post-fight video that he wouldn't take 3 months off of boxing ever again, and that he was going to take it seriously this time. Okay, great. Let's see what Deji does next. Deji didn't fight again for over a year and a half. During this time, he was challenged to get abs for $1 million by KSI, and if he didn't do it, he had to run around a city in Mankini. He had 6 months to complete this challenge, and didn't start training until 3. So, obviously, he failed the challenge. What made it worse is he also refused to do the forfeit, which was the whole reason the bet was made in the first place. Then, he did the thing where he said he's not going to make excuses, but proceeded to make excuses, claiming that he couldn't train because he was moving house or something.
I have no excuse. I'm not gonna make an excuse for myself. I was going through a few things regarding like a house and everything, but which is just unfortunate because I had to then dehydrate myself because I messed up, saying these aren't excuses.
But like, bro, $1 million for abs. How do you fail? You must really not need the money, bro. But Deji did slim down and claimed he was going to take this as a lesson and continue training. He also said now that he was in shape, he might as well return to the ring. So a few months later, he announced that he was fighting Dawood Savage. And guess fucking what? He was fat again.
When I have my next fights, you're going to see me in good condition. Not just the condition you used to see me in. You're going to see me in good condition. You're going to see me smiling a lot more.
Stop the cap, bro. That's a lie. Not only that, he didn't take the fight seriously. His brother, Leon, as well as Shane, did not corner him because of this. And 0-4 Dawood Savage pieced him up for 2 rounds. This was Deji's 7th fight. His trainer had to slap him. And after that, Deji then KO'd this dude in round 3. This was the longest fight that this Dawood guy had up to this point, against the most experienced guy. Does that make any sense? Then after the fight, he made a video claiming that he was going to take boxing seriously now and continue training. But guess fucking what? Deji hasn't fought since then and now is the fattest that he's ever been. This is what I call the Deji cycle. It goes something like this. Claim you're training hard to get people hype. Lose or make a half-ass effort. Promise you'll learn from this and continue training.
Because I have a lot to prove. And there's no way in hell, there is no way in hell I am tasting defeat again. I'm telling you right now, I will not let any of you guys down. Unfortunately, I took an L because action speaks louder than words, and I know what I need to do. I need to work on my cardio, I need to work on just myself as a whole, because I do want to box again. Yeah, okay, I've lost. but I'm gonna bounce back. Simple as that. I'm gonna be training. After the Floyd fight, I took 3 months off, which was so bad. Very stupid. I will never do that again. This fitness journey, I'm not giving up. I want you guys to get involved with fitness too. Honestly, like fitness is amazing. It's honestly amazing. I'll show you my journey to fitness. I've already decided that I'm going to keep training, keep being fit. I want to stay healthy, and I want to essentially show my journey to me being healthy.
And then don't continue training, book a fight, claim you're training hard to get people hype, and it repeats itself over and over again for 8 years at this point. The only fight everyone can see Deji took 100% seriously was a fight with Fuzi. That's 1 fight out of 7 that Deji has had. He should have taken the hype he had after 2022 and used that momentum to build his career more. Instead, he took a 1.5 years off. No one knows why. He never had to box. He could live in his house playing games, being a millionaire for the rest of his life if he wanted. But then why make false promises? Why give people hope? Deji isn't getting any younger, and if he truly wants to take boxing seriously, he has to start now. He claims to want to rematch Jake and Alex, but hasn't shown us why at all. Deji has already spoken as a has-been, a coulda, woulda, shoulda. But it shouldn't be over. If I were Deji, I would dedicate my 20s and early 30s to boxing. Have a goal to redeem the fights that you lost and win. Fight Wasabi again. Build your way up to a Jake Paul fight. Hell, fight Vinny Acker again. Prove yourself. But knowing Deji, this will never happen. But if Deji is happy, then I guess that's what matters. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do a thumbs up, subscribe to everything. This is the first type of video I've done like this. So, you know, leave a like if you want more. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!